least 5 years. How they survived is unexplainable. Hey girls, I'm your Uncle Luke.
I think someone's coming to visit them.
Oh. Is she here? In this house?
Oh, you promised!
Rated PG-13.
You better shut up about your goddamn mama. I'm sorry. Welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. We don't have an intro this week just because. I'm not getting rid of it. I just felt like this was really... didn't feel the need to do one this week, especially with it still being kind of the dumping weeks overall. But we have 3 films to look at today for January 18th, 2013. And at least one of them will be good. The others... not so much. Let's start off with the biggest new release of them all, and that is Mama. This is a horror film produced by Guillermo del Toro and directed by Andy Muschietti. Andy Muschietti, who would give us It Chapter 2, and more recently, The Flash. Yeah, his career has kind of taken a little bit of a stall, but it's because of that, but that's a whole other time altogether. But the film follows 2 young girls abandoned in a forest cabin, fostered by an unknown entity that they fondly call Mama, or as the little girl calls her, Mama, which eventually follows them to a new suburban home led by 2 adults after their uncle retrieves them. So, yeah, this is... essentially, it's basically kind of the Babadook before the Babadook even came out, but the Babadook was much more scarier, and that one didn't have star power like Jessica Chastain and the dude from Game of Thrones, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, who played Jaime Lannister, and that's pretty much about it for star power in here. Did end up becoming a big success overall. It was actually one of Universal's biggest successes that they really needed around that time, because they had flop after flop after flop for a number of years. But again, they were starting to get back on track in 2012. So maybe this was just after the changeover from all those flops they had beforehand. But the point I'm trying to make here is that it's not a bad movie per se. I make it seem like it's a terrible film. It really is not. It's a movie where it's a movie that you could tell this is a movie that Guillermo del Toro worked on, because he's not giving you the traditional, cheap, lazy scares like you have in a lot of horror movies. I mean, 2012 was a really, really bad year for horror films, but this is the Guillermo del Toro that gave us stuff like The Orphanage and Pan's Labyrinth, and these movies where, what was the other one he did? Was it him who did the... maybe I can find it on here. He did a movie back in like 2001, I think it was. It was kind of like this. Devil's Backbone. That's what I got a feeling of when I saw this movie in full. The trailers I don't think do a good job of selling the film the right way, but hey, it worked. It sold the film to people, but the movie is much better than the trailers let it on to be. It's not just a typical ghost story movie. There is actually a little bit of a hook to it. And this is probably the most stable film that Andy Muschietti has ever made. Like, this is a movie where it's bad for the sake of being bad. No, this is a film that just feels authentic. And it works because the actors are putting their effort into it. The scares are actually kind of legitimately good. And you got good talent here with Chastain and Coster-Waldau among the cast in this film. So, yeah, I made it seem like it was a bad film at first, but it's not. It's a good horror film, and especially after the terrible year of horror films we had in 2012, from The Devil Inside to Chernobyl Diaries to The Apparition. I mean, we needed a good horror film to come out at some point, and sure enough, this one actually does work overall. So, not great, not amazing, but pretty good overall. If you're looking for one that actually does work, look for this one here. Mama is definitely one to check out. So now let's get to the real garbage of this weekend, and that is Broken City, a movie that's so terrible. Who needs reviews from professional film critics when we can do the next best thing? Let's go to Twitter and get some reviews. I am not even kidding.
That was an accident. You know who I am?
This is what you do all day? Spy on beautiful women.
You see, Billy, there's some wars you fight, and some wars you walk away from. Don't walk away.
You're done.
Broken City, rated R, in theaters everywhere, January 18th.
This movie tried to sell it to its audience with Twitter reviews 10 years before The Flash tried to do it. Like, you know good and well that this movie was dead on arrival, pretty much, when that happened alone. But unfortunately, the movie is here, and it's a sad disappointment on so many levels, not just from the casting, but who directed this movie, Alan Hughes, of the Hughes brothers, who of course gave us great films like Menace to Society, Dead Presidents, and The Book of Eli. This is him going out on his own, and boy, did he miss the mark on this one big time. Mark Wahlberg stars as a police officer turned private investigator, and Russell Crowe is the mayor of New York City, who hires the private detective to investigate his wife, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones. You also have characters played by Barry Pepper, Kyle Chandler, Natalie Martinez, and Jeffrey Wright. And yeah, this is not a very good film overall, and despite the good cast involved in here, it just doesn't work because it's just not an intriguing storyline whatsoever. It's not a movie that's entertaining. It's not a movie that really is investing on so many levels. I mean, we've seen this movie done before so many other times. City Hall back in 1996 almost copies the same storyline. And, I mean, so not really everything about it, but to a T, it almost copies the exact same setup here. And it just doesn't work. I mean, these actors are better than this. These are actors that deserve a lot better than this movie here. They just have nothing to do in here, and it's just a boring, lazy film without anything of noteworthiness or epicness to it, and it just doesn't work. It's a terrible film. It easily is the worst film of the weekend, and it definitely is a film that they thought they were going to have this be the big Oscar contender because, hey, we got Mark Ruffalo, we got Russell Crowe in here, and Catherine Zeta-Jones, and it just wasn't that. They knew it was bad. Ship it off into January and let it get killed by, Mama. We could say like, oh, we didn't know that movie was going to do very well. And like, bitch, of course you did. That's why you put it out there. So anyway, that is Broken City. Not much more to say about that one. So let's go ahead and wrap this show up by taking a look at our last movie, which is easily the best movie of the week and one of my favorite movies of the year. Arnold Schwarzenegger, after his time as the governor of California, is back again in movies, and this time he is back in a big way with The Last Stand.
It looks like a war zone down there.
Hey, Sheriff. Almost didn't recognize you in plain clothes.
Well, it's my day off. Should be a quiet weekend.
We have a situation.
We've got a cartel with heavy firepower headed towards the border. And there's a strong chance they're coming your way.
I've seen enough blood and death. I know what's coming. I'm not gonna let that guy come through our town. We know how to fight.
Very nice. How are you, Sheriff?
Old. Bring everything you got.
Who the hell are you?
I'm the sheriff.
I'm still waiting to find a t-shirt with Arnold Schwarzenegger in that post saying, I'm the sheriff. Like, I've been looking online for that for 12 years now. I have yet to be able to find it. So if somebody out there can tell me where I can get a shirt like that, please let me know in the comments down below because, man, I want one so badly. I love the hell out of this movie, man. I mean, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger returning to a fun action film overall, and it's a great movie, and of course it bombed at the box office. Of course it did, because why wouldn't it? Of course the good movies are going to get pushed aside for crap like Broken City, and a good, not great movie in Mama, but in it, Sheriff Ray Owens, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is a man who has resigned himself to a life of fighting, with little crime takes place in sleepy border town Summerton Junction, which sounds like something you would see here in like a title of a Rankin Bass holiday special, in the town of Summerton Junction. But he's leaving after his LAPD post following a bungled operation left him racked with failure and defeat after his partner was crippled. After a spectacular escape from an FBI prison convoy, as you can see, that features like a literal barrier thing. I mean, holy shit. Gabriel Cortez, played by Eduardo Noriega, the most notorious wanted drug kingpin in the hemisphere, is hurtling towards the border at 200 miles an hour in a specifically outfitted car, a Chevrolet Corvette C6 ZR1. I was about to cough there for a second, excuse me. But a Chevrolet Corvette C6 ZR1, with a hostage and a fierce army of gang members. He is headed, it turns out, straight for Summerton Junction, where the whole of the U.S. law enforcement will have their last opportunity to make a stand and intercept him before he slips across the border forever. At first reluctant to become involved and then counted out because of the perceived ineptitude of his small-town force, Owens ultimately accepts responsibility for the face-off. And as I mentioned, the big story with the movie was the fact that it was a big bomb at the box office, and sadly it didn't bode well for Schwarzenegger's big film comeback. But we got 2 more movies for him to try and regain that status, and there was also talks back then of another Terminator movie, which turned out not to be that great overall. And Sabotage, not really that great. But then the one he did with Maggie was actually pretty good, and we'll get to that, but this really is one of his best movies, and I love the movies that don't. I like more of his movies. Here's the weird thing: I like more of his movies that bomb that actually don't than the ones that actually make money. Now, don't get me wrong. He's made classics: Terminator 1 and 2, True Lies, Twins, Kindergarten Cop, Predator, Commando, Eraser. We talked about these movies in depth on this show and also on Flashback, but these are great movies. But there were 2 really good movies that he made that were not big hits. The original The Running Man was not a big hit when it came out, and The Sixth Day was a big flop when it came out, but that movie's pretty awesome. I even love some of his really terrible movies, like Jingle All the Way. Batman and Robin is a bad movie. It's one of the worst superhero movies ever made, but it's still a ton of fun with it, because Arnold Schwarzenegger's having the time of his life with that role. And yeah, you can add this to it, but it's, in all seriousness, it's a really good movie. It's so unbelievable and how stupid it is that you can't take it seriously, but it's a fun, over-the-top action movie. You will really love it, and that's how I really went into this movie, and it was really one of the best theater-going experiences I had in years. And it does, admittedly, start slow. It does start off at a slow pace, but within 5 minutes, the film picks up the pace. By the time the final climax starts, you can't wait to see this big action spectacle that they're hyping up in the trailer, which does not disappoint you at all, which gives you everything that you want to see. You got him and Johnny Knoxville in a bus using a special gun to blow this guy into smithereens with body parts splattered all over the place. And the others where this kind old lady just grabs a shotgun, shoots one of the crime lords through a window, and both of this happens within 2 minutes. And I was laughing so goddamn hard when I saw this the first time. I mean, that's how hilarious this movie's over-the-top ridiculousness is. Yeah, the rest of the cast is mediocre. They're your typical stock characters. The villain is very generic, and he has one of the most cartoonish voices I've ever heard in a movie before. And he's supposed to be this big bad drug lord. He sounds like a freaking cartoon character. He sounds like Roger Rabbit, really. And yeah, that's kind of the negatives about it, but despite all of that, this is still a really, really fun movie. This is a solid, over-the-top action flick with a lot of flaws going against it, but at the same time, it's not meant to be taken seriously at all. It's about going to the movies, turning your brain off, grab a bowl of popcorn, grab a drink, and just have the time of your life, and that's exactly what happened here. And it was something that I really needed, because I had seen some bad movies up to that point, and this really was a film that I had to see, and I was not disappointed by it at all. This easily is the best movie of the week, one of the best movies of the year, The Last Stand. If you haven't seen it and you're a big Schwarzenegger fan, what are you doing with your life, man? Get up for your ass and go see The Last Stand. It's one of the best movies of the year, and one of Schwarzenegger's best, in my opinion. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies. Next time we meet, we take a look at the last 3 films of January 2013, which are a mixed bag of movies. You got Jeremy Renner coming off of The Bourne Legacy and The Avengers, starring alongside Gemma Arterton in the action supernatural film Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters from the director of Violent Night. We have Parker with Jason Statham and Jennifer Lopez, and then we have a movie that makes a haunted house look like Citizen Kane by a parody by comparison. Movie 43, a movie that is so terrible it killed many careers and killed many people's chances of winning an Academy Award in the future, including one Hugh Jackman for Les Miserables, which we'll touch on that next time around. But that'll be coming up tomorrow afternoon, so stay tuned for that tomorrow. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and actually, I'm looking at this. By the time you see this, it'll be tomorrow morning, and I'll be filming it tomorrow afternoon before I do the Review Network Live Sunday Night NFL Rewatch, which you can watch on the other channel too. But yeah, either way, it's gonna be tomorrow at some point when I wake up. So with all that said, if you like this and want to see more videos like this, please go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.